Imagine a world where your phone is mightier than the sword, even against centuries-old traditions. The rise of smartphones and Wi-Fi has fundamentally altered how people access and interpret information, creating cracks in even the most rigid belief systems. This article delves into why some argue Islam, like other religions before it, may face an existential crisis in the digital age. The digital age: Islam's modern printing press. In the 21st century, smartphones and Wi-Fi have become the modern equivalents of Gutenberg's printing press, transforming the way information is shared and consumed. With the internet, vast amounts of knowledge are now accessible at the tap of a screen. Traditional gatekeepers, such as religious scholars and community leaders, no longer hold exclusive control over the interpretation and dissemination of Islamic teachings. This digital revolution has empowered individuals to explore Islam's rich intellectual heritage firsthand. Online platforms offer access to Quranic translations, hadith collections, and scholarly debates, enabling users to engage directly with the faith's core texts. This democratization of information has sparked renewed interest in personal study and interpretation. However, the digital age also brings challenges. Contradictions in interpretations of religious texts have become more visible, leading to lively debates and, at times, contention within the global Muslim community. Questions that once remained confined to scholarly circles are now discussed openly, fostering both critical thinking and polarization. Just as the printing press redefined Christianity in the 15th century, the internet is reshaping Islam today. It offers a dynamic space for spiritual growth, dialogue, and reevaluation, illustrating how technology continually redefines humanity's relationship with faith and tradition. Questioning authority scholars vs. the internet. Historically, Islamic scholars have served as the primary gatekeepers of religious knowledge, guiding communities with their interpretations of sacred texts. Their authority was rooted in years of study and a structured hierarchy that centralized religious understanding. However, the rise of the internet has disrupted this traditional dynamic. With information now readily available online, anyone with internet access can question and analyze the teachings of scholars, often finding alternative perspectives from a global pool of voices. This shift has led to the decline of centralized religious control. Traditional doctrines, once safeguarded by scholarly consensus, are increasingly challenged by individuals armed with diverse interpretations. The accessibility of Quranic translations, hadith commentaries, and historical analyses has democratized religious knowledge, enabling a broader spectrum of inquiry. The internet fosters a culture of personal exploration, where individuals delve into Islamic teachings to form their interpretations. This often results in views that conflict with established doctrines, creating a vibrant yet fragmented discourse. While this new paradigm encourages critical thinking and spiritual independence, it also raises concerns about misinformation and the erosion of scholarly expertise. The dynamic between scholars and the internet exemplifies the tension between tradition and modernity, reshaping how Islam is understood in the digital age. The internet's role in challenging dogma. The internet has become a revolutionary tool in challenging long-standing dogmas, offering platforms for diverse voices and perspectives. For ex-Muslims, websites, forums, and social media act as safe spaces to share their stories, experiences, and critiques of Islamic teachings. These digital platforms provide a sense of community for individuals who may face isolation or backlash in traditional settings, enabling them to connect with like-minded individuals and discuss taboo topics openly. Moreover, the internet's global connectivity exposes Muslims to a wide array of worldviews, ranging from secular ideologies and scientific advancements to alternative spiritual philosophies. This constant interaction with new perspectives often challenges the exclusivity of Islamic teachings, prompting individuals to question interpretations they may have previously accepted without scrutiny. This exposure fosters critical thinking and opens the door to re-examining faith in the context of a rapidly evolving world. While this digital age empowers individuals to engage with Islam in new ways, it also raises questions about the balance between tradition and modernity. The internet, much like the printing press centuries ago, is reshaping the way people approach religion, encouraging dialogue and debate while disrupting established narratives in unprecedented ways. The youth exodus. The internet has amplified a growing phenomenon: the exodus of young Muslims from traditional faith practices. At the heart of this trend lies a disconnect between tradition and modernity. Younger generations often find it challenging to reconcile traditional Islamic practices with the realities of modern, secular lifestyles. The rigidity of some interpretations of Islam may clash with the dynamic, individualistic ethos of contemporary society, creating a sense of alienation for many young people. The allure of secular freedom adds to this divide. In secular societies, freedom of thought and expression is celebrated, offering young people a space to explore their identities without fear of judgment. This contrasts sharply with the perceived restrictions within some Islamic communities, where cultural expectations and religious mandates can feel confining. Online platforms amplify these contrasts, exposing youth to diverse ideologies, lifestyles, and narratives that challenge traditional norms. As a result, some young Muslims begin to question their faith or drift away entirely, drawn by the promise of autonomy and self-expression. While this exodus poses challenges for the preservation of Islamic tradition, it also sparks important conversations about the need for dialogue, understanding, and adaptability within Muslim communities to engage with an evolving world. Cultural and social shifts. The internet is reshaping cultural and social norms, presenting challenges and opportunities for Islamic traditions to engage with a rapidly changing world. One prominent shift is the rise of feminism, which questions patriarchal structures deeply rooted in many interpretations of Islam. Women's empowerment movements emphasize equality and autonomy, challenging traditional gender roles and advocating for reforms in areas such as inheritance, education, and marital rights. These conversations, often fueled by online platforms, encourage a re-examination of how Islamic teachings align with modern understandings of gender equality. Similarly, LGBTQ discussions have gained significant traction online, bringing visibility to voices often marginalized in conservative religious spaces. The internet amplifies these perspectives, creating a global dialogue that often clashes with traditional Islamic stances on sexuality and identity. This clash has sparked broader societal debates, forcing communities to grapple with questions of inclusion, acceptance, and the evolving interpretation of religious principles. These cultural and social shifts highlight the tension between tradition and progress. While they present challenges to long-standing norms, they also provide opportunities for dialogue and growth. The internet, much like the printing press, serves as a catalyst for transformation, pushing societies to confront complex issues and adapt to a more interconnected and diverse world. The globalization effect. Globalization, fueled by the internet and modern communication, has ushered in an era of unprecedented cross-cultural dialogue. People from different backgrounds engage with diverse perspectives, fostering greater understanding and cooperation. However, this interconnectedness also presents challenges, particularly for Islam's engagement with pluralistic values. Diverse voices within and outside the Muslim world now contribute to conversations about faith, culture, and society. While this dialogue enriches understanding, it also exposes tensions between rigid interpretations of Islamic teachings and the fluid, inclusive ethos of global pluralism. For many, traditional doctrines rooted in exclusivity struggle to resonate in a world that values diversity and coexistence. This struggle is evident in debates about religious freedom, gender equality, and human rights. In an increasingly interconnected society, younger generations, especially, are drawn to values that emphasize shared humanity and individual choice. Rigid interpretations that resist adaptation risk alienating these groups, leading to calls for reform and reinterpretation. The globalization effect mirrors the transformative power of the printing press in the 15th century. Just as the printing press challenged centralized control over religious narratives, globalization compels Islamic communities to reflect on how they can harmonize tradition with modern values in a diverse and dynamic world. The fear of apostasy and blasphemy. Apostasy and blasphemy have historically been shrouded in stigma within Islamic societies, often met with severe social and legal consequences. However, the internet has begun to dismantle this barrier, playing a pivotal role in normalizing discussions around these sensitive topics. Online platforms provide a space where individuals can anonymously or openly share their experiences, doubts, and questions about Islam without the immediate fear of reprisal. This digital dialogue reduces the isolation that many feel and encourages open exploration of faith. Public voices, including influencers and prominent figures, have further eroded the taboo by speaking candidly about their struggles with belief or their critiques of Islam. Their courage in defying societal norms sparks broader discussions and empowers others to voice their own perspectives. These conversations often extend beyond individual experiences, addressing systemic issues and challenging interpretations of religious texts. While these shifts encourage critical thinking and transparency, they also provoke resistance from conservative circles concerned about the erosion of traditional values. The tension underscores the transformative impact of the internet, akin to the effect of the printing press centuries ago. By reducing the fear of apostasy and blasphemy, the digital age fosters a new era of dialogue, questioning, and understanding in the Muslim world. Conclusion: Islam's quiet collapse. As the digital age unfolds, Islam faces unprecedented challenges. The internet's unfiltered access to information and global perspectives makes it difficult to maintain traditional narratives. While some argue Islam can evolve to survive, others believe its rigid framework may lead to a quiet collapse.